Hey everybody, alright, so heads up, this will probably be a two-parter because I feel like there's a lot to say. Let's see, so week 22, woo, and you guys got my little delayed update thing from last week, so you know that I was in Branson, Missouri, of all places, with my mom and my grandma, which meant that it was my grandmother, my mother, me, and then my unborn daughter. So that's 4 generations of ladies right there, which is neat. My grandma wanted to go, and she didn't really want to drive. She drives fine, but she didn't want to drive, and she asked my mom, and my mom was like, yeah, and then they asked me. So I was like, okay. So I ended up driving the whole time. So, and I guess tour guiding it, which is funny because I haven't been to Branson, Missouri since I was 2. Like, I don't even remember. I didn't even know I'd ever been, but apparently my mom was like, you liked it. So, anyway, it's a totally, to me, in my world, I guess if you live in that area, it's not, but in my world, like, that's like a really random place that you never think about. So, I was actually excited to go. I was like, that's fun. I'm going someplace weird like that. But anyway, so we drove up from Houston to, where my grandma lives. My grandma lives in Oklahoma, so we drove up there. It's like 8 hours or something. Then we drove to Branson, which was like, I don't know, 5-6 hours, something like that. Well, I have to say, side note, my parents, they have a, it's actually my mom's car. She has a Ford Edge, and I loved it because my husband and I want to go ahead and get a crossover vehicle sometime this year, and just so we have a bigger car, because right now it's like I have a 4-door car, so it'll hold a car seat pretty well. My husband has a Mustang. I mean, that's not going to work with the baby. So we were thinking, you know, we want to get at least one bigger car, and then whatever. But anyway, so I liked driving it because it kind of gave me a chance to see it. I loved it so much. Like, of course, my parents have like the ultra fancy version, and you know, with like the, not just a sun or moon roof, but like the panoramic kind, the kind that's like all the way back, and like heat, you know, like everything fancy. Like, we probably couldn't afford to get all of those things added to it, but we could afford it just like basic. So anyway, it was really cool though. The car was funny because I'm pretty tech savvy and really enjoy anything to do with technology, but that car was even a little advanced for me because I plugged my iPod into the little, well, for one thing, this, you don't just it doesn't just have like a little line in. It actually has a USB iPod connection, so it'll charge your iPod like through the same thing, just like when you plug it into your computer, which I thought was really cool. Because even the new cars that we've been looking at still just have a line out. But anyway, so I plugged in my iPod, my little USB iPod connection thing, and I was like on the steering wheel, because you know how all the cars now is like everything's on the steering wheel. So I was just like, I pushed the little button for like line in, and like nothing was working, and I was like, well, I know I'm doing this right, you know. I was like, if I push the buttons this way, I go to like satellite radio and normal radio, blah blah, and I push it this way, and I can go into the line in or the USB connection. What's going on? So then the car acts like, I think the car thought I was stupid because all of a sudden this voice came on in like the whole car speakers and was just like, if you want to connect you know, a media device, you know, you need to tell me like to connect line in or USB. And I was like, oh, I'm supposed to tell you? So I was like, USB? I said it and it worked. My iPod hooked up. I was like, alright. Apparently it's all voice activated now, so yeah. So I thought that was really funny though, and it was really cool, and actually it was a lot safer. If I hadn't been an idiot, I wouldn't have wasted time trying to, like, you know, scroll to the USB connection. I would have just, you know, it was a lot easier just to be like, USB and keep driving. So anyway, the car's really cool, and yeah, it was awesome. So I loved how it was all voice activated, and I mean everything. Could tell it to do whatever I wanted, and it was just really comfortable, and it got, you know, it doesn't have the best gas mileage, but it was pretty dang good. Like, we were actually surprised. But anyways, and it was really comfortable, and there's lots and lots of like space in the back, which is be really good for a baby. So definitely, like, I told my husband, and I was like, I really liked it, and he was like, okay, you know, he's like, well, we'll look around, and we're looking at like lots of stuff. So, and we won't get it for a while. We want to get into the house first, and then we'll go get it. But anyway, so that was cool. But yeah, so I drove and we did go to that Silver Dollar City, which is an amusement park, which is a really cool amusement park, by the way, if you've ever been or not been or whatever. I couldn't ride a lot of stuff, so I was pretty sad. But it was still, like, it was really cool. Like, lots of cool shows and stuff. And I have to tell you guys, so I decided that my daughter either loves country bluegrass music or she hates it, because every time it would start to, we'd go to a show, and it would be loud, like, she'd start moving about, like, kind of going crazy, and I was like, that's funny. And, oh, my dog is howling at something. Who knows? So, anyway, speaking of her movement, it was, I'm getting very distracted by the dog. I can't focus right now. I don't know, like, whole pregnancy brain thing, so, anyway. But, speaking of movement, so, like, last time I talked to you guys, I said that I do feel her move a lot, and, but it's always really, it was still subtle, so I was kind of like, you know, because I wanted to feel those bigger movements that a lot of people who were the same length along as me, or even a little earlier, were already feeling, like, more powerful kicks, and I just wasn't. And I was like, well, maybe it's just because she's small, you know, she's little and whatever. And, well, now I do. She started kicking a lot more powerfully. You can actually see it when she kicks my stomach. The chances of me being able to catch that on film are slim to nil, but I guess as she gets bigger, I'll have a chance. So I'll try to capture that. But it is really cool. It's funny, just, like, my stomach will just bloop, move, like, I mean, very noticeably. Like, people are like, whoa. So she went from, like, these tiny little movements, you know, and I was kind of like, when is she going to move more, to bam. The last 2 nights she's gone crazy. Right when I laid down for the evening, like, gone crazy. And it's really cute, you know, and I was playing Rock Band 2 or whatever. I was playing the drums. And as I was playing the drums, like, I was just like, you know, boom, 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 whatever. And then I felt like, I just felt like this boom, 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 like her tapping me. And I was kind of like, aw, she has rhythm. But anyway, it was really fun. So that's really exciting, and that's a new development. And then let's see, what else? Okay, so this past week or so, wait, let me start at the beginning. So while we were in Branson, I, like, really got swollen. Like, not just my ankles and my feet, but, like, my entire legs. Like, my knees, everything. Like, my legs looked huge. They looked like trunks. Like, I kept saying I was like elephant trunk woman or something. It was just like, it was so unattractive. And, I can't even describe to you guys how much I was swollen. And I was drinking a lot of water, and it didn't help. And, you know, it's hot. It was hot in Branson, but it's not as hot as here. So, but, I don't know. I think, like, I got swollen from the car ride, right? But then I'd also get swollen if I was walking around all day. And, like, big time, too. Like, just so much swelling. And it happened every day. And I guess I was really active every day. So I was kind of like, oh, great. Am I going to do this every single day for the rest of the pregnancy? Because that's really unattractive. And it didn't really hurt. It was just like, blah. I just didn't like it at all. And, like, not, you know, I know you shouldn't really care about that type of thing about, you know, oh, well, it's not a big deal. Looks don't matter. But it did. It bothered me because it was just, like, huge. And I knew there was a problem because I looked down and I was like, I had a crease, like, you know, where your leg and your foot meet. I had a crease right there when my foot wasn't even bending. Like, because it was so swollen, it creased. And I was like, I have a crease and I'm not even walking. Like, I'm standing still. There's a crease in my foot. It's like, I would just make jokes, because you have to, like, joke about it, even though it was upsetting. I was just like, well, it was nice when I had ankles, you know, I don't remember that now, but anyway, so we were gone a whole week, but when I got back, over the next 2 days, like, it got better, and so, now I'm not really swollen at all, but now I'm very much aware that I apparently do have a tendency to swell if I do anything, so at least I know, but, oh well, anyway, so that was fun.